Hello and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with why exporters are struggling, and that's an investigative report. And the writer says can't achieve pre-COVID performance, unable to benefit from higher dollar value, and that's coming from exporters. Laments lack of access to export proceeds. It's about competitiveness in price and quality, and that's coming from Muda Yusuf. We can see a further story showing the Minister of Women Affairs visits kids detained in Abuja. Presidency, Atiku tango over economy, how we would have managed Nigeria's problem, Atiku, and you'd have done worse, and that's coming from the presidency. Owando announces a 60.3 billion naira profit after tax for FYE 2023. You can read that on page 20. Hashtag EndBadGovernance protest. ACF, NHRC, CISLAC, SERAP, orders slam police over trial of minors. NJE conference, Shetima Diri Bagudu, Idris Ribadu, Nasima lead discussion on economy, security. Withheld pay, normalcy return to varsities as workers suspend strike. AFCON 2025 qualifier. Libya begins a mass arrest of Nigerians after CAF verdict. Stories above. International firm hires a depot to blend the substandard petrol in Nigeria, and that's coming from Dangote Refinery. Insists its price is cheaper than the imported products. Asagba's 2 legal battle looms, and we take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with the federal government begins food imports may extend zero duty initiative timeline. Nigeria, 8 ECOWAS countries sign high sea treaty. Resource control real reason for Rivers political crisis, says Fubara. Hardship, APC slams Makinde, MP backs Tinubu as Atiku offers alternative path. Lagos Calabar Highway, federal government to pay 18 billion naira compensation in 10 days. CSOs file no fault treason charges, urges release of minor others. Wando announces a 60.3 billion naira profit. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with hashtag EndBadGovernance. Northern governors, ACF others demand minors release. Rider says North must wake up. Bala Mohammed charges region. Sands differ on arraigned minors. Aggrieved residents protest as king politicians visit Spain flood scene. US election, Harris-Trump in final push for votes. Man jailed 6 months for attempting to seat daughter's UTME. Government allocates 18 billion naira compensation for Lagos Calabar Highway. Stories about federal government projects 44 trillion naira revenue as reps oppose tax review. 4 marketers spend 833 billion naira on fuel imports, and that's coming from a report. Nigeria's forex market unstable, says the Fitch. And on Ondo governorship poll, a debate, Aida Tiwa tackles Ajayi over 1.2 billion naira security votes. SDP ADC candidate promised to tackle insecurity. Take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with a presidency, Atiku's alternate economic plan, a cheap talk. Rider says his call for human face to reform resonates well with our administration's focus. We sell petrol at 990 naira per litre to trucks, says the Dangote Refinery. Rider says imported products below our cost price is substandard. Stories above, Labour Party Governor Otis men win council seats on ZLP ticket. And Owando grows the turnover to 2.9 trillion naira, makes a 60.3 billion naira net profit. Don't blame us for PDP crisis, APC tells Makinde. And that's how we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining, still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Ali Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord Newspaper. It's good to have you join me this morning, sir.
Morning,
Precious.
it's
good to be with you for 2 weeks. All right, let's delve into the main story this morning. It says exporters are struggling, and the rising cost of goods and services as well as high interest rates have combined to dampen the productive capacity of exporters, resulting in weak growth of non-oil exports. So, what's your take?
You see, there is a general law in industrial sector, a lot of companies are shutting down. The agricultural sector is affected. Most people that run farms, that own farms, can no longer run them. It is sad. Look at the cost of chicken. We used to buy chicken for like 10,000. How much is it now? 20, 25. Now that Christmas is approaching, the price will go up. You look at something as simple as that. Look at rice. One bag of rice is 110,000. And I mean, how would people or civil servants who are on 70,000 afford a bag of rice of 110,000? We have so many factories folding up. Nigerian breweries, I heard that they took a loan for the first time in the history of Nigerian breweries in Nigeria. They had to run on a loan. It shows the state of our economy. The truth of the matter is that we keep dancing to the tunes of the International Monetary Funds, which keep instructing us to take one policy decision that is not favorable to our economy or the other. For as long as we continue to listen to the dictates of the IMF, the economy cannot be stabilized that way. The president announced a reduction in duties for certain category of goods. They are into the importation of food now. Why are we importing food? Because most of the farmers in Nigeria can no longer work on their farms. Terrorists have rendered the agricultural sector useless and dead. People can no longer go to farm. In Edo State, where I come from, most of the things that people do for money there, or the major thing they do for money there, is farming. People can't go to their farms because if they go, terrorists will come, attack them, kidnap them. If they are not kidnapped, you have herders that will bring their cows to run over their farms. And they are helpless in most cases. And this thing is affecting the cost of food, is affecting every sector of our economy. We rely on importations. Those who want to export will have to go through nightmares to get their goods from Nigeria to other parts of the world. If they are unfortunate that they are exporting perishable goods, the goods would have been perished by the time it gets to the destination because of the complex situation of processing exports in Nigeria. And so we have all these problems that are silently or even openly affecting our economy. The exchange rate of the dollar to the naira as of today is 1,700 plus. There is no economy that will operate with such an exchange that will survive crisis. If your currency is so bad that it exchanges for, look at some African countries' exchange rate. Go to Ghana. We used to have a situation where Ghanaians left their country to come to Nigeria. And there was a government that came and said all Ghanaians must go back home. And that gave us the Ghana must go back, with which a lot of us carry things in Nigeria today. Go check out Ghana. The country is doing good. Though it is not as if Ghana is also not affected by the worldwide economic situation. The problem with us in Nigeria is the genuine management of our economy. You have so many cash circulating in private pockets than in the general economy. People stockpiling naira in their underground bunkers. After some time, the naira would have become rotten and they will be thrown away and somebody will bring another one to replace the one that got rotten. Is this life? In the midst of poverty, in the midst of lack, a few are wasting the resources of this country, and yet government is not able to bring them to account for what they are doing. You will keep talking about Dangote. I said it here, that Dangote is not a solution to the problem of petroleum scarcity. Has Dangote resolved it now? I said it on this station. That you can't bring a monopolist to be part of an economy that requires stability and you expect to achieve that stability. No. He also wants to dominate that economy as a monopolist. I read a press release from Dangote Group that says there is a company beside them that is refining oil. The refining substandard oil.
Right.
Are they engineers? How did you test the oil to know that they are substandard? This uneven competition is not helping the economy in any way. The government must sit down, bring in true economists who mean well for this country to help stabilize our economy. Even the CBN governor seems to have lost it. He doesn't know what to do. They can't come out with sound economic measures. Every day, you see companies leaving Nigeria, going to Ghana to settle down, and they will be doing well in Ghana. Bata, Dunlop, what's the name of these people? Yes, Bata. They are there doing well in Ghana. If you take a trip to Ghana and see the companies that have left Nigeria that are doing well in Ghana, you feel sorry for this country. I don't know what is wrong with us. We must, for the first time in our lives, stop being selfish and take care of the economy of this country so that the future leaders that we will have will continue to give kudos to the ones that we have today. Otherwise, we have a crisis on our hand.
All right, since you mentioned Dangote already, he talked about a company that is, blending substandard petroleum products. Also, he also said that that his own petrol is cheaper than the one imported by NNPC into the country. There's also the conversation of the regulator NMDPRA not having a laboratory facility to detect these substandard products when they are imported. What's your take on that?
You just said something. There is no laboratory to detect the genuineness of the production of the other company Dangote is talking about. How did he come to the conclusion that the products from that factory is substandard? That's question number one. I said it. You see, a monopolist will be a monopolist anytime, any day. I keep saying that, and the cause of this, because government has refused to allow other refineries to come on stream. If we have more than 10 refineries, you will see competition, and you will see that the price of petroleum products would go down drastically. Which other refinery do we have that is working? Dangote. NNPC is practically importing fuel. The INSPT has turned itself to a marketer, a company that should be producing crude and refining that crude to petrol and other petroleum products. Do you know the derivatives, all the derivatives of crude oil? They are more than 27. We are not fully utilizing those derivatives. We are concentrating on one product or two products: kerosene, diesel, petrol. Economically, is it wise? No. You have a product, crude oil, that can give you over 20 byproducts, including grease, engine oil, LPF, low power fuel oil, and so many, Vaseline, and so many other things. You are losing all those derivatives just for 3 products. What economic sense is that making? That is if you have your own refinery. You have access to all those derivatives and you make sales from them. You make money from them. But now you have just 3 because you can't complete your refinery. You cannot upgrade your refinery and make them work. The solution to the scarcity of petroleum products in Nigeria is for us to have as many refineries as we can. And I am aware that many private refineries have been licensed, but they have not been given crude with which to start operation. So let NNPC give crude to these companies that have been licensed so that they can take off. And there will be a healthy competition in the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. There is no competition, no. It's just monopoly. Dangote is producing fuel. NNPC is buying it from Dangote. And you think you will have good fuel price? No. No.
All right, so moving on now, CSO have condemned the treason charge the Nigerian police force filed against minors who participated in the recent hashtag EndBadGovernance protest before a federal high court in Abuja. I'm sure you'd have seen the videos last week, and even the lawyer of the federal government saying that some of these minors are married, they are not minors, they are actually adults, and all that.
The issue of those guys being minors are debatable. The issues surrounding their ages are debatable. In the North, do you know that a 14-year-old person can get married? They do get married, not that they can. A 10-year-old girl do get married in the North. So if you look at the nature of the people in the North, you cannot refer to somebody who is married at age 14, who is probably a father at age 14 or 15. You can't refer to him as a minor.
But the law recognizes anybody below the age of 18 as a minor.
That is the law. But you have somebody who is 15, he is married, he already have children. Can you refer to him as a minor? So the position of the law is different from the facts that are on the table concerning those children. I sympathize with them because they have been badly treated. I sympathize with them because they have been locked up in detention. But then, the truth of the matter is that that offense for which they have been charged, was it committed by them? If it is yes, they should face trial. They should face trial. You see, we are just being emotional. If a 10-year-old, like somebody, a 10-year-old girl, I even saw it online, poisoned his mother or an old woman, will that person be freed because she's a minor? That is a question mark there. She was held. I don't know if you saw the video. I saw the video. I watched it. What came to my mind was, will this girl be prosecuted or she will be left alone? The law says that if you take a life, your own life too must be taken. No matter who you are. If you are a minor, you are not permitted to kill. So this issue of somebody being a minor and committing a serious offense should be separated from their ages. I keep asking, the lawyers that we have around should tell us if the lady that killed, the young girl that killed the grandmother, that poisoned the grandmother, will be freed because she's 10 years old. So you can see the contradictions on these matters of somebody being a minor and committing grievous offenses and the position of the law. So there are situations that has to be complied with because those involved Whether they are minor or not, they have committed an offense.
But what was the offense really? Because they only came out to, protest against the economic policies of this administration.
Protest, and they carried the flag of another country in Nigeria.
I think that's where the part of education comes, because a lot of people are not really educated about things like that.
There is no excuse for any crime. Precious. There is no excuse for any crime. You went to carry the flag of another country in your own country, an independent country. It's an offense. It's a treasonable offense. Grade 1 offense. I am a human being. I understand the emotions attached to minors being tried, but sit down.